Hello and welcome to Ginger Prime. My name is Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, you already know it. You look smashing today. That's what you get for subscribing, by the way. Free compliments at the start of these videos. Guys, if you feel like this video earns it, be sure to like that smash button down below. It really helps the channel out, and it also helps these videos out. So if you get something good from it, do that. And also let me know if you have any questions about anything I cover in this guide in the comments below. I'm here to help hopefully make your life easier when playing New World, especially on a controller. Now there's a lot that we got to do and dive into this video, so please use the YouTube playhead below so you could jump to the section that best interests you, but please do not skip over the key binding section in this video. That's going to be critical to everything we see and show you here today. That is the most critical section. After that, once you have those key bindings set up the way that I've got it to pair with the controller configuration here, note that this is going to be kind of a one-on-one guide, but everything else after that should hopefully help give you everything you need to know when playing New World on a controller. Now, at this time, before we dive into the pure guide, I do want to say some acknowledgements to all the help in the community has provided in both letting me test and try out different things on the controller running in dungeons. So thank you so much to the Ginger Prime community that worked the game, company within the game itself. You guys are amazing. And if you guys want to be a part of that company, you can always check the links in the description to find out more. But also shout out to Udaman and to Straight Jacket Gaming for helping to also put together their own controller guides. You can always check out theirs over in the Steam library as well. I think theirs uses a little bit different mapping, so note that, you know, if you go follow theirs and you try to apply mine, there will be a little bit of conflict in how things work together. But overall, that's what I wanted to say right at the start of this video. So let's go ahead and dive into the guide. So when we start out, I'm going to show you guys this from big picture mode. When you start New World in big picture mode, it's very important because it allows you to have access to some of the features that if you start it in normal desktop mode, that the controller won't necessarily play as well. If you ever were curious, you can go to your settings and go to your interface and actually say start in big pictured mode windowed, as well as start just generally big pictured. I like hitting these two checkboxes here, and that was from your settings and then from the interface tab as well. So what you want to do first and foremost, if you haven't done this already, pull up New World, click on Manage Game, go to Controller Options, and make sure that it is set to Forced On. You're going to need to do this, otherwise you're not going to be able to apply any of the controller configuration within the game itself. Now, you might be asking, how do you go ahead and apply the controller configuration already? Well, if you guys check here in the bottom of this YouTube video right here, you'll see a Steam link. Now, this is the Steam link for the other one. I'll go ahead and paste in the new Steam link for the updated controller guide, and you just need to paste that into a browser. And what that's going to do is it's going to ask you if you want to go ahead and open up the controller configuration support, and then you would hit apply configuration. If you do not see apply configuration, most likely your controller is turned off or not plugged in. Just note that that's what you're going to need to do to be able to go ahead and go forward from there. So that's the whole step in getting it set up. You can of course hit like browse and you can go search it by name. This new one has updated in its title, so that should hopefully help. Or again, just use the link in the description to be able to go find this real easy and get it applied. And then finally, when you're in the game, you can always just press Shift and Tab by default and bring up your settings. Now you can see here controller configuration on the screen, in which that I could again go browse, I can make changes, and I covered how to make changes to this in another video, so be sure just to check out the channel page for more information here on Ginger Prime. But for the most part, that's going to be what you need to do to configure it. Now, if you were like in just desktop mode, you didn't have the big picture mode up, you would actually see it in the upper right hand corner of the game itself. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into the mappings, and let me show you everything you can do with a controller. So if you're ever curious, you can actually just press start. You can actually bring up your little mouse, and now I can use my right stick as my mouse. I'm going to click on settings here, and here we have our key bindings. This is perhaps the most important section of this video, so just permit me to go down the list. That way you can copy these exactly how they have it. I've got zoom in as wheel up. I've got zoom out as wheel down. That's just obviously the little track wheel on your mouse, moving it up and down. Then I've got camera zoom modifiers blank, free look as left alt, hide UI as left alt plus H. Then for range combat, shoot is left mouse button, aim is right mouse button, and you hold that. So if you think of that as the controller, that's aim is actually the left trigger, and shoot is going to be the right trigger. Basic attacks, left mouse button and right mouse button accordingly. So blocking left and then attacking with the right. Dodge is shift or down on the right stick as a click function. Sheath is going to be X, or you actually in this case hold down the Y button to sheath. Self target is going to be left control, and you actually hold that. In this case, it's actually holding down the left bumper. And left bumper is going to be used for your main skill, and then right bumper is going to be used for weapon ability 2 and 3, but I'll show you guys how I actually have that working. Exit auto target is middle mouse button. Then I have exit or cycle target up is the right, or in this case, left, right on the D-pad. And then I have cycle target down is left on the D-pad, so you can actually scroll that as well. Then in fishing, I have that set to F3, equip bait to F4, cast hook reel left mouse bumper in this case, the right trigger, and reset cast exit fishing is the right mouse bumper as well. So you can do that in this case, but overall you're just going to be fishing. I'll cover that here in just a little bit more detail. It's pretty basic. Housing has no mapping changes, but that's decorate with B, menu with N, exit with L, confirm left mouse bumper, grind placement left alt, and lock to surface as left control. And again, I'm going to show you guys how this all functions actually on the controller, but it's more important that we get these mappings for you. Navigation move forward is WASD for all your moving. Auto run is now middle mouse button. This used to be equals in your default settings, so make sure that is now set to middle mouse. Toggle crouch is set to C. Prone toggle is set to Z. Walk is set to hold. Then I have jump traverse as space. Toggle walk run is not selected. Inventory defaulted is still at tab. Map is M. Character K. Journal J. Company UI G. Scoreboard N. Socials O. Make camp Y, and that's important as well. We'll cover that more. Accept notification F1. Decline notification F2. Accept banner F1. Show war tutorial B. Use repair kit T. Toggle army window L. And I have ping set to equals. Ping wheel set to the hold of the bind. And then finally the ping wheel shout is set to left shift. Here's also what's really important over here on the right hand side with cycle weapon up, wheel up, cycle weapon down, wheel down. Cycle weapon modifier L alt. Swap weapon active weapons is set to the tilde. This is not bound by default. You're going to absolutely need this in order for the Y button on your controller to work. Weapon 1 is 1, weapon 2 is 2. Consumables 1, 2, 3, and 4 are set to 3, 4, 5, and 6 accordingly. Weapon ability 1 is set to Q, ability 2 is set to E, and ability 3 set to R. So that is a default binding change. So you now actually have your interact set to F, the F button. So Q, E, and R are your abilities, and F is your interact. Secondary interact is still T, and give up is set to E. Under social, enter to chat. Chat command /, push to talk is turned off. Emote is P, social actions is H, toggle PvP is U, forfeit duel is F2, and then dialogue options is 1 through 0 accordingly. And those are the key bindings. Absolutely critical that you get that. To highlight the big changes that you want to make is the weapon swap is tilde, interact is F, Q, E, and R for your skills. That is really critical. Middle auto run middle mouse button is that change there. And finally, I think it's the fishing or the self-targeting. You want to make sure you have that set right. And then the left and right on the cycling targets is going to be absolutely critical for you guys in this case. Okay, so we're using a controller. You're playing New World. Let me go ahead and actually equip a new weapon. I can press the select button to bring up my active weapons. I'm going to go and drag in, drop a healing staff, and then I can press select back again. You can see that it will notify you on what different world set you're on. Pressing start will bring up the map, and pressing left bumper and the right bumper will navigate between the different settings. So if you ever find yourself where it's like this, where it says world, you can always press the escape key, or you can hold down the B button, which will take you all the way prone, but it will help reset the different view. Then you have your weapon swap is Y. You just press that and you just press it again, or you can hold it to be able to sheath. Same concept. You can hold to sheath and Y to swip or swap. Swap. If you ever need to interact with anything, you can press your X button as bringing up the trade menu, and you can be able to interact with this. Again, you can always hold down B to exit and cancel. It will put you into a prone status, but that's okay. You can press A to jump, and you can hold L with your blocking. It's going to pull up and say aiming. Same concept. And you can attack with the right trigger, or you can hold to get that full on attack. You can use your skills. So if I use like Q here, just press once and it will use the ability. Press the right bumper once to use that ability. Press and hold the right bumper to use your third ability. Now let's go ahead and swap over to healing, because this is going to be very critical. It's one of the biggest requests that I've gotten while using this setup. So I've got a couple of healing spells. If I go ahead and press my left bumper, I can now cycle target by pressing right and left on the D-pad, and that's going to help me change my target. I can press the spell again to cast. Same concept with any ground targeting. I can do so right there. And this last one is just an AoE that's going to go from my body. Now, let's say I want to target myself. I can actually hold down left control and boom. Now I am self-healing in that regard. So it's going to auto target self if you actually hold. Now, same thing applies. We'll wait till my second ability comes off cooldown. So now it's off cooldown. I can target or I can hold it and I can now self-target and put the ground healing right exactly where I need it to be. So you have the ability to target, select people, and then you also have the ability to target self now with this setup. Now for auto running, we did do that mapping. You just press down on the left as a click and it's going to go into auto running mode. Now let's say we want to use some consumables. We're on the road, we want to be able to use it. If you hold down the up button, you can see it switches over to consumables mode. And then if I use the right stick, I have my little consumables menu. You can't really see it here on the screen due to how I'm capturing the game itself because of big picture mode, but it will bring up a little wheel that you can see it. So consumable 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I actually, in the upper left-hand side of it, I actually have a cancel option. But if I want to go and use some food, I can just press down and now I'm using some food. Same concept if I want to use some potion for a quick heal and then I am ready to go. Same concept with the left on the D-pad. Now that's social actions. If I press up, I can bring up my emotes. If I press to the right, I can decline a notification. If I press down while holding, I can accept a notification. And if I press left, I can actually bring up my social menu and it's going to say, hey, you need to look at somebody to be able to interact with them. What I want to do is I want to go ahead and make some camp. So let me just go ahead and chop down a tree. Again, just running up to any kind of tree, pressing the X button to be able to get some green wood. I know I need some flint. Never any good flint when you need flint. It's like, there we go. Here's some flint. So press F to interact to be able to grab and pick up any items that are on the ground. Holding down the A button will actually bring up the make camp menu. I can now have this in, set up, and this turkey decides it wants to kind of come and taunt me for some reason. I guess because I killed all its brothers and sisters. I can hold down the F key, or this in case the X key, and I'm going to apply all the resources to it. And now my camp has been created. Now notice from an interact perspective, you have the ability to press F to craft, and I can again hold down B to exit that menu. You can double tap X, and that's going to be your other secondary interact. Now I am sitting here resting at my campsite. Same thing applies for anything that requires that T interaction. Now let's say while you're on the move, you want to adjust your camera. You don't like being so up close and personal and you don't want to reach for the mouse. You can actually hold the down button on the D-pad and now your right stick will allow you to adjust the range in which the camera is moving. So that is just something you have ability. Once you release the down button, it will return you back into your general world mode. So just note that you have the ability to fully control the camera as well. So finally, I want to show you how to fish. If you come up to any river where you can fish, you want to hold down right on the D-pad and you'll go into fish mode. If you press up on the D-pad, this is where you'll be able to go and equip some bait. You can use the right stick to be able to use your mouse, just right click or right trigger and equip now the bait. From here, just hold down your right trigger, cast your reel and let it ride. And once you have a fish, you press right trigger to catch. You then hold right trigger again. You reel your fish in, not letting the tension get too high. And there you go. So if you want to exit fishing, you just hold down on the right D-pad and then you are no longer fishing and you're going back into the adventurous world of New World. At this time, I leave it up to you. Feel free to obviously take this configuration and make it your own. You can always jump into the game, find something that's not working for you and make a change. As I run into bugs and find and fix them myself, I'll be pushing out more updates to you. So always just be sure to be following the channel, checking us out in Discord, and or leaving comments and being, following us over on Twitter. Honestly, you should really delete Twitter, but if you're going to be stubborn, you might as well follow me. All that are the links in the description if you so choose. So guys, welcome to the channel. Thanks for watching. If you guys got something out of this video and this is the video that earns your subscription here, be sure to sound off in the comments below so I can welcome you officially to the channel. But without further ado, I hope you have a great time with this game. I hope you have a great time playing it on a controller. And if there's anything I can do for you, just let me know and I'll do my best to make sure we have a working version for you specifically. Anyway, guys, I'll wave at the camera. Hopefully you have a great day. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.
I just want to say I'm really glad you're feeling better, and I love the videos. Well, I love you too. Michelle? Shoot for the moon, and so even if you fail, you'll reach the stars. Go for the 100K subscribers. Yeah.